Hello friends, so I'm back with another video on sociology optional subject for UPSC CSE mains examination. So in this video we are going to understand the Karl Marx theory of class struggle, or we can say that class conflict, a sociological thinker Karl Marx. So please do these 3 hours so that I will be motivated to continue this video or this course. So please rate, review, recommend, comment and like, and also subscribe for more videos, notification and updation. So in the paper when we are covering the sociological thinker Karl Marx, we have already studied in historical materialism, mode of production, alienation, and this one is video for class struggle. So let's get started. So we have already discussed these theories, and in this video we are going to understand class struggle or class conflict. So now basically Marx said, or the Karl Marx said hitherto, that means till right now or at present, till that time, the history of society is the history of class struggle or the class conflict. And Marx believes that there are always two classes found in the society, and they are the exploiter and the exploited. So they always have an antagonistic relationship. So antagonism basically means that two classes do not like each other but avoids physical harming. So for these terminologies I have already made a last video in which I will already discussed these terms, so please check out that video also for better understanding, and I am also teach or describe about these words in this video too. So antagonist relation means a relation where two classes of the society does not like each other but avoid physical harming. So Marx believes that after first society, that is after primitive communism, remaining societies have class struggle because of surplus production. As the surplus production started, and because of it, two classes kept on emerging for having control on the surplus production. So basically the exploiter or the haves were not only controlling economy but also infrastructure, and because of infrastructure they are also controlling the superstructure of their society. And for more understanding infrastructure and superstructure, please go through the theory of mode of production by Karl Marx. I have already made a video on that, so please check out that video also. So here the next, the exploited or the haves not neither have control over economy and infrastructure and nor the superstructure. So Marx said infrastructure determines the superstructure. So now, as Marx believes, socio-economic structure kept on changing from one stage to another, but basic nature remained the same. So, in pre-industrial societies, the relationship between haves and have not were based on antagonism, that mean existing two society that's not like each other and but or not harming each other. So but they did not convert it into conflict because, as we know, that they are class in itself. So basically class in itself is a term I will already discuss in the last video, but here also I am going to teach you this, that class in itself means a class which is not aware of their rights and do not fight for their cause. For example, farmers, as they are not aware of their rights, so they are not fighting for their cause, as then it will not convert it into conflict or the class conflict or class struggle because they are not aware. So but in industrial society is different, but industrial society is different in many ways than previous economies, because for example here in the industrial society production are made for profit, not for consumption. Hundreds or thousands of workers are working together. The relation between employer and employees, that is exploiter or exploited, is based on the cash nexus. Thou industrial capitalist society, the bourgeois or the haves are exploiting the proletariat, but Simultaneously, capitalism is sowing the seed of its own destruction. So why? Because the capitalism have employed workers who are working together, living together, sharing and suffering together. So, due to the nature of capitalism, the capitalists are not only exploiting the proletariat but also the small for, or we can say that small bourgeois like self-employed, etc. So, the capitalism is not generating any hope or safety wall among the poor for their future. So, the Marx discuss the role of states played in the history, as in the past time, whenever the exploited or the sufferers comes against the exploiters or the bourgeois in the form of strikes or rallies, the state suppresses them or suppress them with bullets or the stakes. So, sorry guys, but Marx said existence determines the consciousness and the materialistic or the matter or the economic condition determines the thinking of individual. So Marx said similar materialist condition of the worker will generate the common consciousness. When they all the workers are in the same economic condition, they will get aware of their exploitation, strength and unity. So because of this, as they become aware, so they will convert it into class for itself, and the class for itself means a class that is an aware or an united class who fight for their cause. For example, the trade unions. So the proletariat get polarized, so does the capitalist, and in the process, the floating classes like petty bourgeois or the small bourgeois like self-employed traders, peasants, etc. The petty bourgeois join the rank of proletariat or will help the proletariat, because as we know that this fake is eating the small fish here. So finally a revolution will take place, which will be violent and bloodshed take place, and the Marx said the workers of world get unite here. So in the revolution, the first time ever in the history, the exploited or the have-not will become winner, because they have nothing to lose in the world. So the capitalism will be abolished in this violent situation, and the system will be taken over by the proletariat. So when the system is taken by proletariat, so it become a transitionary phase, and it lead to the dictatorship of proletariat, and it finally leads to the socialism. And the socialism means the existence of state or we can say that government, but having no private property. So now we are going to see the criticism of this theory of class struggle or class conflict. So Max Weber said that Max Weber is also called as ghost of Karl Marx, and he criticized this theory at the following levels, as he do not agree with the definition of class given by Karl Marx, and according to him, class is individual market position which determines one's life chances, and he disagree that history of society is the history of class conflict. For him, class was not existing in pre-industrial society, hence there was no question of class conflict. In pre-industrial societies, there were status groups, and they are divided on the basis of their lifestyle. And Weber disagree with Marx that there are only two classes in modern society. For him, there are four classes in the modern society. As such, first one is propertied upper class, then less white collar class, then petty bourgeois or the self-employed, then blue collar workers. So he agrees with the Marx that relationship between employees and employer are based on conflict, but he do not see possibility of revolution. For him, conflict can be resolved by bargaining, mediation, and arbitration. Then Ralph Dahrendorf, in his book Class and Class Conflict, believes that possibility of workers' unity is sounding remote. He observed deep polarization of the working class in three groups: skilled, semi-skilled, and unskilled. Then Lenin, he also do not agree with Karl Marx that the class consciousness and polarization of petty bourgeois into proletariat will emerge automatically. For him, outside leadership is essential to waken and unite the workers. The role of intellectual is important for the revolution. Then Crane Brittman, in his book An Anatomy of Revolution, wrote that merely exploitation is not enough for revolution. There are multiple conditions, situation which creates the pressure on the system, which leads to the revolution. Then Goldthorpe and Lockwood would also believes polarization is not looking feasible here. The workers in society are separated, then united on the basis of lifestyle, like political affiliation, background, salary, etc. And this will be written in his book, which is the affluent workers. So now finally the conclusion that we have to always write in the answers for the mains examination with sociology optional subject paper 1 sociological thinker. So it is one of the most debatable theory in the history of humanity, as it divided world in two groups, and these are those who supported this theory are known as Second World, which is led by USSR, formerly USSR and now USA, Russia. Then who oppose it are known as First World countries led by USA. So on this divided allegedly, world is are always on the brink of world war, that Cold War and will be continued almost up to 5 decades. So the critics criticizes this theory especially at two levels. The first one at communism, which will be never came in the world, and on the name of socialism and communism, USSR and other socialist communist societies establishing dictatorship and violated human rights at its worst, like China and USSR, and now also by the North Korea, which is a recent example. But while criticizing this theory, Marx must be analyzed in the context of his sentence that existence determines consciousness. So here, materialistic or existential condition of workers in 19th century was inhumane and pathetic, or we can say almost at the level of animals. So he expected workers' revolution in that context. So, but after the Marxist theory, even capitalism learned the lesson and corrected itself before it's late. Like they made labor laws, social security, improvement in working condition, etc. were introduced, which made workers' life better than previous. So Marx's purpose of revolution was not to bring dignity and self-respect among workers. Capitalism also provided later. Otherwise, many thinkers believe that the possibility of proletariat revolution could not be denied in present context also. So whenever in the world where social justice and distributive justice is not a reality, be it a civil war and an ethnic conflict, separatist movement are going there, which is primarily economic as the root cause. So Marx's theory of class struggle needs some amendments with the changing time, and it is also an alarm to the world that unless distributive justice is not done, peace cannot be restored. So the revolution can only be denied when every individual will have a dignified livelihood and lives. So thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to channel for the more videos, updation and notification, and please do these 3 hours as I am giving a lot of efforts for making these videos. And also comment and like, as whenever you do rate, review, recommend, comment and like, I will be motivated to continue this course. So thank you.